Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other videos. I'm just going to be kind of venting to you guys and just speaking on some things that have been on my mind for a while, getting things off my chest about my content, the Dead by Daylight community, that kind of stuff. And yeah, if you want to listen, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. I don't blame you, and I'll see you guys in a future video. But yeah, I'm not going to edit this video at all. I'm not going to read from a script. I'm just pushing record and I'm going to just talk about stuff. And maybe it'll be really stupid. Maybe I'll sound like a moron. Very possible. But yeah, anyways, let's just jump in and let's start with... Also, sorry if you can hear my chair creaking. It's kind of a creaky chair. But yeah, let's start with the obvious thing. And that's that I'm not very liked in the Dead by Daylight community by a lot of people. And that's fair. I think that there are people who don't like me that have valid criticism of me or my content. And then I think there are people who don't watch my videos or don't watch my streams. They just think that I camp and tunnel at 5 gens every game, or that I play Basement Bubba all the time, or that my videos are just me relentlessly shitting on people nonstop. None of that stuff is true. If you go watch my past 30 streams, go tell me how many games I'm camping and tunneling from 5 gens, and go tell me how many times you see me playing Basement Bubba. I really don't play Basement Bubba that often. I play Bubba a lot because he's my favorite killer. But I just play regular Bubba and I just played normally. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy Basement Bubba. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a fun playstyle. It's a fun meme. And I don't think that that makes you a bad person for enjoying that. But yeah, there's people who don't like me that don't watch my content or anything. They just maybe hear things on Twitter, and that's a whole nother thing where people make stuff up. I'm also, you know, people say I'm a racist and transphobic and homophobic and all of these things that just aren't true. And that is what it is. That's part of being on the internet, is people will just say shit about you because they don't like you and they want other people to not like you. And again, it is what it is. It's not always fun to see people in threads going on and on about all this stuff that's just objectively not true. But oh well. I can't do anything about that other than just, you know, continue not being any of those things. But for the people that have, you know, valid criticism of me and my content, I want to talk a little bit about that. Specifically about, you know, my view of the Dead by Daylight community and how I've talked about how toxic it is and how terrible it is. And people have pointed out that I probably feel that way because I surround myself with toxic content, and that's what I make content about. That's what I, you know, I ask people to send me their encounters so that I can review them and talk about them and whatever. And that's true, actually, because I spend a lot of my time when I make videos, you know, looking through my emails, and I just see just people getting treated like shit. And, you know, it pisses me off. It gets me fired up. I get defensive for these people. And, you know, so yeah, I think that that definitely has altered or skewed my view of the community as a whole, because if I didn't do that sort of content and I didn't see that stuff all the time and I just played the game, you know, I don't really get that much salt or anything in my games nowadays, and I don't encounter a lot of toxic people. Partially that could be because, like, my name isn't, you know, my name is Spookinjuke, so people recognize my name. It's not like they're gonna be shitty towards me, or maybe they will. Some people are, but whatever. I digress. My point is that, you know, people who say that are correct, and making that kind of content has definitely been exhausting a bit. Making it a lot, because I used to not, as far as like analyzing streamers and stuff like that, that wasn't something I did all the time. That was something where I, if it was me going against a streamer, I could show the double POV, and then I would make the occasional TTV police video where it was like a big streamer shitting on smaller streamers or something like that. And I made a handful, 4 or 5 TTV police videos that were pretty spaced out, like months between them. And then it got to a point where I was just being like, hey, if you guys want to send me your encounters, I'll review them and talk about them and, speak out about what you went through and whatnot. And now it's just a lot of my videos. And there are people who say that I do it so that I can capitalize on people's worst moments and monetize them and just make money off people being mad at a game. And that's not true. In fact, a lot of those videos, I would say the majority of those videos are either demonetized or have very limited ads on them because I don't censor the videos. So when people say things like to kill yourself, or if they say slurs, or if they say excessive, like cunt and just really like vulgar language, that shit gets demonetized and I don't censor it. Like I don't. I could. It probably would be better if I wanted to capitalize on making as much money as possible from those videos, but I don't. So a lot of them, either immediately or shortly after I post them, get either 0 or very limited ads, and I don't make very much money on those videos. So the main reason I make them, the main reason I started making them was because I wanted to, I don't know, I saw the way people reacted to the TTV police videos, and people would say things like, hey, I saw these videos and it made me reflect on how I was acting, and now I'm less of an asshole to people, or now I don't, when someone camps and tunnels me, I don't immediately call them a piece of shit and harass them and whatever. So people tell me that it's helped their attitude. And then the people who were the victims in those videos got lots of support and followers and just love from people who saw them, and those two things made me happy. So I was like, I could do that more often. I could make videos where I talk about a situation, talk about why I think the behavior is excessive or bad, and then put the spotlight on the person who was harassed, and that I thought I was doing good. And I don't think that I'm not doing good. I just think, maybe, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Again, I'm not editing this video, but yeah, that's where my head was with those videos. And it still is, because I think that those videos aren't bad for really anybody, because I blur out the names and alter the voice and stuff of the people who are being shitty. And another thing I want to talk about is how I come across in my videos and even on Twitter. And that's very aggressive and assholey. And I definitely see how I come across that way. And sometimes it seems like I'm like, on a high horse, or like I have a giant ego, and that's never how I mean to come across. But I totally understand from somebody watching a video how it can seem that way. My biggest flaw as a person is that I'm very defensive. So like, if you've seen on Twitter, you probably have seen me get defensive, and people, even if it's somebody with 5 followers, if they're saying something crazy about me or whatever, I will, fucking respond to it like an idiot. And I shouldn't. I should just let that shit go a lot of the time. But I'm a defensive person. But I also get defensive over other people when I see them being treated a certain way. So naturally, having people send me all this shit where they're getting treated badly, I'm like just getting defensive every time I watch the video, because I want to, I want to tell the person who's being a dickhead, like, hey, you're being a dickhead. So in the videos, I might, be a little fired up and make a few jokes. And that's partially because I want to add a comedic, side to my videos, but also because, the shit's kind of got me fired up, and I'm kind of like, you know what, you're being an asshole. You told this person, you're making fun of them because their family member died of cancer or whatever. Like, fuck you. So yeah, I get fired up. I get defensive, and that is a flaw. And again, it makes me aggressive when I talk about things. And I think overall, it's made my attitude towards the DBD community very aggressive. And I think that's like a big part of the issue. That, again, kind of circling back to, I've surrounded myself with all of this negative content, and now my view of everything is pretty negative in terms of the community. So when people, talk about certain things, or if I see somebody being shitty to somebody else, like, it's just, I jump the gun and get pretty aggressive. And when I talk about things, I can word it pretty aggressively. Like in my DBD is dying video, I was like, if you think this, then you should put your fucking computer and your console in the trash can. Obviously, I don't mean you should literally throw away your trash can. Wait, see, this is the problem with no editing, because you wouldn't throw away a trash can. I wouldn't literally tell you to take your shit and throw it in the trash, but what I'm saying is that is an aggressive way of putting it, and I could word it differently, so that I don't come across like such a dick. And that's just something I got to work on. And I think part of the solution for all of this, and me being, aggressive about a lot of this, and my mindset is, I have to dial it back on this type of content, on the salty TTV videos. And you know what? I thought about this recently. When was it? It was 5 months ago. I was like, man, I'm posting a lot of this content and I don't really know how I'm feeling about it. So I posted a poll on my channel and I asked people what their favorite videos were on my channel. And Toxic TTVs won by quite a bit. So then I was like, well, fuck what I think about being burnt out or exhausted with this content. I'm just going to make it anyway because people want to see that. So I just did, and I have been still making those videos. And yeah, it's taken a lot out of me. Again, it's exhausting. I don't want to be angry all the time in my videos. And in my streams are a lot different. I'm very chill in my streams. Depending on what we're talking about, sometimes if we get on a rant about the DVD community or some situation, I'll kind of go off on a tangent maybe, but for the most part I'm pretty relaxed in my streams. But yeah, my content is a little bit different on the channel because a lot of it is this negative shit. So I want to dial it back and not make these videos so often. I think it was much better when it was the TTV police days, and it was some big thing situation. Again, like if it was a big streamer shitting on a smaller streamer, or I don't know, just the shortbread situation was obviously different as well because that was kind of personal, and but also involved a lot of other people as well. And yeah, I think it's better if these videos are made more occasionally, if that makes sense. And I hope you guys are cool with that. If you're not, you can unsubscribe, and I don't blame you, because if you're here because you want to see 1 to 2 salty TTV videos a week, I just don't want to do that anymore. I don't. I like being silly and goofy, and I like doing parodies and stuff and posting stream highlights and whatnot. And that's not to say it's not like I'm never going to talk about toxicity in the community or salt and stuff like that, because that's a lot of what my channel is. And if I get goofy salt in my games, I might post the VOD or post the match on my channel because it's funny. I think salt is funny. I think there's a big difference between toxicity and salt. Like, you can laugh at salt and it's a good time and whatever. It's not like I'm saying that person's awful or that they need fucking therapy or anything. Like, if somebody, whatever, there's a difference. But yeah, again, I'm not saying that content's never going to be on my channel. If something funny happens during my stream, I'll probably post it in a video. If I go against a streamer and they're fucking batshit crazy and saying some whack shit, I might make a video about it because it might be funny or something. And if I see a wild situation where somebody gets shit on terribly, I might make a video about it and defend them and talk about the behavior and whatever, like I have. I just have to dial it back. And I hope that that's okay with you guys. Because I just don't want to be I don't know how much I'm repeating myself, probably a lot, and I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I just don't want to be angry and bitter towards like the community as a whole, because I don't think it is the community as a whole as much as it might seem like it in my bubble that I've kind of created around myself. I don't want to be like that. So I think a big step in that is just to make less of those videos. And again, doesn't mean none, but less. I also made a second channel called Juke Dude. If you want to check that out, that's for all my variety content. I just started a fitness journey log there where I'm posting one video a month, sharing my progress as far as trying to get in better shape, and I'm gonna post like movie reviews, game reviews, just goofy random variety shit if you're interested in that, because I'm probably gonna keep this channel pretty exclusive to Dead by Daylight. So if that's what you're interested in, then you know that'll be here. And other stuff, like when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game comes out, I'm gonna post those videos over there and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I want to say, but thank you guys for all of your support through the years. I've been playing this game for 5 years now. Kind of crazy. A lot has changed. A lot hasn't changed too, in some senses, and I still think the community as a whole, you know, could use some. We could treat each other better, especially over opinions. Like when this last update dropped, or not dropped, but when they announced it about all the nerfs and stuff like that, just people on Twitter just clashing over their opinions and just insulting each other and going crazy. It's just, who cares, man? Like, let's just have our opinions. You know, if you're a survivor main, if you're a killer main, if you're neither, they're just opinions about a video game. So let's just dial it back. It's okay to be passionate about the game. It's not okay to take that passion and use it for just shitting on people. At least I don't think so. But yeah, I think I've probably ranted enough, and I think I've said everything I want to say. This video is probably already way too long, I don't know, but I love you guys. More content's coming. I don't know what. I'm just gonna kind of do what I feel like doing. And if you want to watch, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But for my own mental health, I got to dial it back on the negative shit, I think. So I hope that's okay. And I love you guys, and thank you again so much for the support. And I will see you in my next video or my next stream. Goodbye.